Welcome to today's episode of FuturePreneurShip 101, where we're diving into the groundbreaking book, The Rise of FuturePreneurship, by Dr. Dana Marduk. In this episode, we'll explore the 7 pillars of futurepreneurship, a revolutionary system designed for entrepreneurs to not only navigate, but actively create the future. Join us as we discuss how this innovative approach is transforming business models, helping leaders thrive in an unpredictable world, and shaping the future of entrepreneurship.
Ever feel like just keeping up with the world is a full-time job?
It's like every time you think you've got a handle on things, something new pops up.
And that's why we're talking futurepreneurship today.
Yeah, exactly. It's like entrepreneurship got a serious upgrade.
And we've got just the person to break it all down for us, Dr. Dana Marduk.
Now, Dr. Marduk brings more than just theory to the table. You know, they've spent over 15 years actually building startups.
Oh, wow. So they've lived through it.
They've been in the trenches of innovation, and now they're diving deep into this whole world of future studies to help the rest of us figure out, well, the future.
Okay, so no crystal balls or vague predictions then?
No, this is about understanding the forces that are shaping what's next and using that knowledge to your advantage.
So instead of getting tossed around in a storm, we're building a better radar.
Exactly. And trust me, the storms are out there. Dr. Marduk even has a name for the reality we're living in now, this Banny world. Brittle, anxious, nonlinear, incomprehensible. It basically means the old systems are fragile. The news cycle is a constant anxiety spiral, and good luck predicting what's going to matter next week.
Yeah, no more linear thinking, like if this, then that kind of stuff.
The old playbooks just don't work anymore. We need a new approach, and that's where Dr. Marduk's 7 pillars of futurepreneurship come in.
7 pillars. Sounds intriguing.
It's not just about surviving in this chaos, it's about using it to your advantage.
Okay, so let's break these pillars down.
You got it. The first one might seem obvious, entrepreneurship.
Right, so that's our foundation.
Yeah, but Dr. Marduk makes a good point that traditional entrepreneurship can get stuck in its ways.
Makes sense. The world's moving faster than ever.
Exactly. So we need to adapt that entrepreneurial spirit to this new reality. And that's where the second pillar comes in futures thinking.
So instead of just reacting to the latest trend, you're trying to anticipate it.
More like understanding the currents that drive those trends.
Interesting. So how do you actually do that?
It's about constantly scanning the horizon, looking for those weak signals that something big might be about to change.
What kind of signals are we talking about?
Could be a new technology bubbling up, or a shift in how consumers behave, or even a global event that sends ripples everywhere.
So it's about connecting those dots, seeing the patterns before they're obvious.
Like a chess master who's always thinking 10 moves ahead. And here's the thing. Dr. Marduk says this isn't just for CEOs or founders.
Anyone can benefit from thinking about the future.
Exactly. No matter what you do, having that future-focused lens can be a game changer.
I like it. So we've got the drive the mindset, and now for the next pillar, we're talking exponential organizations, or exos.
Now we're talking about companies that are designed to scale rapidly and adapt quickly.
So like companies that are built to evolve.
More like they've got growth in their DNA. From the ground up, they're designed to handle massive change.
Okay, so what makes an organization exponential like that?
Think about companies like Uber or Airbnb. They completely disrupted their industries by using technology in a whole new way.
So are you saying all we need is a cool app?
The app is just one piece.
Yeah.
It's about the underlying structure, how they're organized, how they leverage data, and how they empower their people.
So it's less about having a big office and more about having the right systems in place.
Yeah. Exactly. It's about being able to adapt and grow rapidly no matter what challenges come your way.
Okay, starting to see how these pieces fit together. What's next?
Well, we can't talk about the future without talking about technology.
True enough.
So the fourth pillar is all about AI and other technologies.
AI is everywhere these days.
It is, but Dr. Marduk stresses that it's not just about chasing the latest shiny object.
It's about using the tools strategically.
Right. Just because you can automate something doesn't mean you should. It's about using these tools to enhance your capabilities.
Okay, I see. So you got to be intentional with it.
Exactly. Imagine being able to analyze huge amounts of data to understand your customers better, or automating those tedious tasks.
Freeing up more time for creativity and strategy.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder.
I like the sound of that. But what about the ethical side of all this technology?
That's a crucial point, and Dr. Marduk emphasizes the importance of ethics in all of this. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should.
It's about finding that balance, right? between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly. We want to use technology to enhance our humanity, not replace it.
Speaking of which, how do we even keep up with all this new information? It's like the learning curve is getting steeper by the day.
That's where things get really interesting. Dr. Murdoch's fifth pillar is all about edutainment.
Edutainment. Did you just mash up education and entertainment?
You got it. Get ready for a future where learning doesn't feel like a chore.
Okay, that sounds way more appealing than those boring textbooks I remember.
Imagine learning about complex topics through immersive games, or mastering new skills by watching a hilarious sitcom.
Sign me up. That sounds way more effective than just reading about it.
Exactly. Especially in our hyper-connected world, if we want people to learn something, it needs to be engaging.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it learn about blockchain.
Unless it's having fun while it does it.
Exactly. Okay, so we're halfway through the pillars. What's next?
This one might surprise you. It's healthgevity.
Healthgevity. Is that like living to 200 with robot doctors?
Not quite, but it's about taking care of your most important asset, your health.
All right, I'm intrigued. How does that fit into all of this? So you're saying it's not just about working all night every night.
Exactly. Futurepreneurship is about sustainable success, not burning yourself out.
Makes sense. You can't ride the waves of the future if you're exhausted all the time.
It's about understanding that your well-being is directly connected to your long-term success.
So taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's strategic.
Precisely. We're talking about prioritizing sleep, managing stress, creating a sustainable work-life balance.
So it's about having the energy and focus to actually do the work.
It's about avoiding that burnout cycle and finding a rhythm that allows you to thrive.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about 6 pillars so far. What's the final piece of the futurepreneurship puzzle?
This might seem surprising at first, but it's all about community.
Community. So you're telling me futurepreneurship isn't just about lone geniuses having aha moments.
In a Banai world, connection is more important than ever. Futurepreneurs understand that you can't do it alone.
Makes sense. Trying to navigate the future by yourself would be pretty daunting.
It's about building ecosystems around your ventures, connecting with mentors, advisors, fellow entrepreneurs.
So it's less about competition and more about collaboration.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're stronger together, especially when faced with so much uncertainty.
That's a powerful idea. So instead of seeing other people as threats, you see them as potential allies.
More like co-creators. We're all in this together, trying to build something new and exciting.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we've got the drive, the mindset, the tools, the community, and now we have this understanding that we're stronger together.
It's about shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. There's enough success to go around.
Okay, so we've covered all 7 pillars, and my mind is officially blown. But now I'm wondering, how does this actually play out in the real world?
That's where Dr. Murdoch's research gets really exciting. They've looked at a wide range of companies and found that the principles of futurepreneurship are being applied in all sorts of ways.
So it's not just a theory, it's actually happening.
And the results are impressive. These futurepreneurs are building companies that are more adaptable, more resilient, more purpose-driven.
So they're not just surviving, they're thriving.
They're attracting top talent, outpacing their competitors, and making a real difference in the world.
Okay, I'm convinced.
Mm-hmm.
But let's bring it back to our listeners for a second. Not everyone is running a company. How can someone in a more traditional job use these ideas?
That's a great question, and it's something Dr. Murdoch addresses directly. They say that futurepreneurship is a mindset, not a job title.
So you don't have to be a CEO to be a futurepreneur.
Exactly. It's about how you approach your work, your career, your own personal growth.
So even if you're not launching the next big tech startup, you can still use these principles.
Absolutely. Imagine you're working at a company and you see a way to do things better, to be more innovative. Futurepreneurship empowers you to take those risks.
So instead of just waiting for instructions, you're looking for ways to add value.
You're anticipating what's needed and maybe even shaking things up a bit.
I like that. It's about taking ownership of your career and your growth.
And ultimately, your future. Because the future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create.
Now, that is a powerful thought. It's like futurepreneurship is less about a job title and more about a way of looking at the world.
It really is about recognizing that we have the power to shape the future. It doesn't just happen to us.
And what happens when more people start to see things that way, to think like futurepreneurs?
That's when things get really interesting. Dr. Marduk talks about how this shift in mindset could actually help us tackle some of the world's biggest challenges.
So it's not just about individual success, it's about making a difference.
Exactly. Imagine a world where entrepreneurs are driven not just by profits, but by a desire to create a better future for everyone.
That's the kind of future I can get behind. So instead of being afraid of the changes that are happening, we can harness that energy to do some good.
And that's what's so inspiring about all of this idea that we're not powerless. We have the ability to shape our own destinies.
I feel like we've been handed this incredible toolkit, this Futurepreneur toolkit, and now it's up to us to use it.
To build
Like-
something better, something bolder, something more aligned with the future we want to see.
Absolutely. Well, listeners, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the 7 pillars of Futurepreneurship to the power of community to the importance of taking care of ourselves.
And let's not forget that key takeaway: the future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create.
So true. Now, as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. If companies are starting to operate more like adaptable organisms than rigid top-down structures, what does that mean for how we think about our own careers? Do we need to become more fluid, more adaptable in order to thrive in this rapidly changing world? It's something to ponder as you navigate your own journey into the future. And remember, the future is not predetermined. It's what we make it.
That wraps up today's episode of FuturePreneurship 101. We hope you found the insights valuable as you continue your journey toward becoming a futurepreneur. Don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, tips, and exclusive content. And for more information on how to take your business to the next level, visit our website at futurepreneurs.global. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.